Hi, my name is Professor Ian Yeoman, and today I'm going to talk about what is the value of tourism in society. And I think this slide represents it all. There's a Lonely Planet guide for every country, every destination, and every region of the world when it comes to tourism. There's Lonely Planet guides to the North Pole and the South Pole and everywhere in between. So that says a couple of things. First of all, tourism is the world's #1 industry. It says tourism is the world's most global industry. It also says tourism is the world's most vibrant industry. And it also says tourism is the most entrepreneurial industry. So what I'm trying to say is every type of business somehow is involved in tourism. And tourism represents a destination's culture. Tourism represents what we're all about. So that example is this photograph here. This is Edinburgh Military Tattoo. And if you think of tourism and what it does in society, it's a way that we make our culture come alive. The one thing in society that makes us different is our culture, if you think about it. And one of the things about tourism is its vibrancy is, if you want to tell the story of what we're all about, tourism is all about that cultural exchange. This is the tourists from Australia going to Scotland. This is the tourists from Scotland going to New Zealand and Vietnam. Tourism is the only industry in the world where we exchange ideas, where we represent our culture. So some people talk about tourism and the end of the world. That's a load of gobbledygook, okay? It's the world's strongest industry, the world's most vibrant industry, the world's most entrepreneurial industry. Yes, COVID-19 was a big disruptor. We saw reductions in international arrivals between 70 and 80% during 2020 to 2022, but it's also an industry that quickly recovered. Apart from COVID-19, tourism has continued to grow, whereas many other industries have declined. So what I'm trying to say, tourism is a vibrant industry. Tourism is an industry of growth. Tourism is an industry of jobs and diversity. Tourism is the world's most successful industry. So those that speak about the end of tourism are talking gobbledygook. So let's just look at the Mediterranean. The Mediterranean is the world's most vibrant region in the terms of tourism. And as you can see from this graph, in 2020, we saw a 70 to 80% decline in international arrivals of tourists going there. But the vibrance of industry of tourism is something really important to recognize. So in 2024, tourism to the Mediterranean will recover to pre-COVID-19 levels. And the demand for tourism is huge at the moment. The one thing that people want to do is go on holiday. Climate change is going to change the landscape of a destination. Because tourism is about one thing, place. It's about location. So that's a question about geography. And as you can see from this map of the world, the key issue, one of the key indicators of climate change are forest fires and where they're going to be. I use Croatia as a symbol. Croatia is the tourism destination of the Mediterranean. It's where tourism is the most important industry within that country. But climate change will have a significant impact upon that country because it's right in the middle of the Mediterranean. And some of the forecasts from the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, say that. So if we just look at some of the baseline statistics. So if we look at between 2020 to 2040, we're talking about increases in temperatures in the next 20 years of up to 2.5 degrees. That will have a dramatic effect on tourism in the terms of water supply. How feasible is it to go on holiday in that destination? So there's lots of challenges. And this destination is just tourism in the terms of GDP and in the terms of employment. So it asks the question, what can we do? So Croatia as a country is right at the forefront of sustainability. It was the first country in Europe to introduce very strong sustainability legislation this year from a tourism perspective. If you're going to be involved in the tourism industry in Croatia, you have to do it in a sustainable way. If you're still involved in tourism and you're not doing sustainability, you will be heavily penalized. So right at the core of how we manage tourism are sustainable development goals. So we ask the question about how can society be of benefit? How can tourism be for good? And one of the ways we do this from a sustainability perspective is trying to advance tourism through SDGs, or Sustainable Development Goals. Whether it's issues of gender, whether it's issues of climate change, or it's an issue of quality or infrastructure. We use Sustainable Development Goals to benchmark and to say how we're going to improve tourism for the benefit of society. One example of a destination transforming themselves is Kaikoura. Kaikoura is a little fishing community, and it was a community that was dying, and people were leaving the town. But one day, some tourists came to the town, and they said, "I'd like to go and see the dolphins," because Kaikoura is on the route where the dolphins go by. So, a fisherman took the tourists out in their boat to see the dolphins and see the whales. And since then, that has been the beginning of a story. People come to see the animals and the fish, the whales, and to do eco-style sustainability products. So it's an example of what they're doing. Tourism's not dying. Tourism's bringing life to many parts of society because of its economic vibrancy, because of its diversity, and because of the opportunity the more tourism changes. One of the big things that's important for tourism is the concept of artificial intelligence. That's going to change the future of work. And a lot of this is happening now in the terms of where we're going. So imagine the future. What is the future of tourism? Imagine this company from Amsterdam called Beta Machines. They've raised 2 billion euros to build humanoid robot experiences. And those humanoid robot experiences become the central feature of the theme parks of the world. So it's World Holiday Parks in Pula, Berlin. It's adventure theme parks in Shanghai, or Disney parks in the United States. Imagine that future. And one of the biggest sectors of tourism are attraction parks. This is the world of Jurassic Park. This is the world of Universal Studios. This is the world of Disney Park. These are really big and successful tourism experiences and products. Tourism is a really important sector, and theme parks are really important within that tourism mix. If I just think about how will AI change jobs? So at the moment, if you were talking to people and you said, what are the jobs that are involved in tourism? People would probably say tour guides, room attendants, or chefs. But if you talk to the future and you talk about artificial intelligence, we're going to be talking about jobs in tourism like AI ethics advisors and augmented reality journey planners. These are some of the concepts we associate with AI. And when you have those concepts then emerge and become mainstream jobs in the future. Tourism is changing, and the experience of tourism is changing. And if you look at attractions, how we engage with that attraction and how those attractions use technology transforms our experiences. Every job that you can think of in the world, they have at Disney. All right? Because it's such a huge business. There is so much diversity in tourism, and there's so many different jobs in tourism, it's actually unimaginable. So it's definitely more than tour guides, room attendants, than chefs. It's a huge industry. If you study tourism at NHL Stenden, you get a strong core. but you also have the opportunity to develop and put your own kite mark or benchmark of what you want to do. NHL Stenden has scale. It's one of the largest providers of tourism education within Europe. You can study community-based tourism. You can study destinations in transition, outdoor leadership and business development. So you do a core in tourism management, but you've also got the opportunity to find a specialism. Thank you.